Hi everyone. We here at Williams Productions have been making videos for you since March 30th, 2020, and we rely on your likes and your subscriptions to keep going. So if you think that this low quality entertainment is definitely worth your time and you want to see more of it, then please make sure that you like and subscribe when you get to the end of the video. So today, everybody, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to review a little bit what we did last week. Now, if you felt like you were a little bit behind or you were having a bit of trouble with this, then you're in the majority because this isn't that easy. And if we were in a classroom, I'd be able to spend a little bit more one-to-one instruction time with each of you and to kind of go over some of those questions and some of the feedback that we all need when we do this. Now, one thing I'm just going to tell you right now, and I honestly mean this, like some people know I like to play a little bit of music, but I'm a drummer, which means I'm not a real musician. I can't hear a lot of the things in music that many really good musicians can. And I struggle, actually, to be honest, hearing a lot of these things in language. So it's something for me that it didn't come naturally. I really had to work on it. And the more I've worked on it, the easier it's become. So for today, what I'm just going to do with this right now is instead of, it's kind of like when I go over things in class and I want to kind of just do the assessment right in front of you. So here was the example we did last class. And we had the stressed syllables right here. And then we had the unstressed, like right here. And just a reminder that a stressed syllable is a little bit harsher, it's a little bit louder, it's a more emphasized syllable, syllable being like a sound. And then the unstressed syllables were just a little bit softer, a little bit milder. And what we find in our language is that we have stressed and unstressed. So when I say things like awake, the is a little bit more de-emphasized than the wake, awake. We hear wake more than we hear and that's all I'm talking about. So these are things we naturally do in language. We all do this, but we don't really look at it, talk about it, or really see it. But once you've kind of gone through this, you'll be able to see language in a whole new way. And one thing that you'll find, especially for those people that really are, I don't know, like you're into hip hop, you're into any kind of rap stuff, this is basically all of that is based on the stressed and unstressed syllables. And we'll definitely go into that as well. So this is the example I gave you. Now I'm just going to look at the SpongeBob example right here and bear with me a little bit because my computer's not the best, but I'm just going to draw out a line that I'm going to talk about it. So the very first thing I'm going to do, hey, I'm doing okay with this, is I'm going to count out the syllables because this was one thing that some people got caught with. They just saw a word and they thought stressed or unstressed. So for who, oops, wrong one, press the wrong one, my mistake, totally still, Mr. Williams hasn't changed at all. So who, that's one syllable, one sound. Lives, it's one sound. In, none of these are all one sound, but pineapple's three. Pine, pull. That's three syllables right there. And then under, that's two syllables. The, and see. So the first thing we need to do is actually identify how many syllables we have to make sure we get the right ones that are stressed and which ones are unstressed. So for who, generally, it's not really, I don't think it's a really harsh sounding one. It's just kind of like, and when I say who lives, you're going to hear lives over, you're going to hear who. So it's just who lives in a, and for in a, so who lives in a, I hear the more than I hear the in, now right here for pineapple. This is a hard one. So we hear pine-apple. When I say pineapple and I think of pineapple, I hear that I hear the first part really loudly. So pine, and then the apple. I hear the pull way harder than I hear the A. So pine, pull. So it's harsh or stressed, unstressed, stressed. Pineapple. You hear the A least of all than the other parts of this, than the other syllables in the word. And then for under, so like under, we hear the D a lot harder right there. And then the C. So this goes unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, who lives in a pineapple under the sea. And often when I finish this, I actually go over it one more time and I just listen to it and I like, who lives in a pineapple under the sea. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. Now, this, if I didn't, like this capital B right here actually complicates it a little bit, but this kind of goes along with how it said you'd hear in the song like SpongeBob SquarePants. So this actually, it's like harsh. Sponge, that's harsh. Bob, that's harsh. Square, that's harsh. Pants, that's harsh. Now, one thing, if I had actually written this out a little bit differently, if I had written just out something like Sponge. Like SpongeBob, SpongeBob. I'd hear the Bob a bit harder. So I would probably actually, if it was written out like this, I'd probably go like SpongeBob. Yes, that should be a capital. I made a mistake. Okay, we get it. Okay, SpongeBob square pants. We hear SpongeBob square pants. If you don't know the song and you haven't listened to it, you're gonna actually hear sponge less than Bob. You're gonna hear square less than pants. Bob and pants are a little bit harsher, a little bit more emphasized. Now for absorbent, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the syllables right there. So absorbent, 3 syllables, and yellow, and porous, big word for a kid's show, is, and he. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's 11 syllables right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to count out the stress and the unstressed. So absorbent, absorbent, absorbent. The or is going to be the part that's a little bit quieter in that one. So absorbent. So the harsh B, zor a little bit less stressed. And yellow, yellow. It's like yellow. Just that little add-on right there. And porous is he. Now, if you put this as an unstressed for the he as an unstressed, that's actually not way off either, because some people would say that he's a little bit less stressed. So there are a little bit of gray areas in this, which just means I'll be a little bit nicer to you. In some spots, it's not completely black and white, but I'm going to treat it like it is black and white a little bit more, except when it comes to marking. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but as I teach it, I'm going to try to err on the side of black and white to teach it, but in real life, it's not completely black and white. So what you'll find is I'll give you a little bit better mark than maybe you might think. So back to SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants. Perfect. So that's all stressed, just because that's it's like SpongeBob, just because the capital B and the capital P right there. Perfect. We're going to move down to My Little Pony. My Little Pony. No, I'll stop. Okay, so count out the syllables. First thing we do, My Little Pony. My Little Pony. Count them out. Perfect. So for My Little Pony, My Little Pony. I can't help but sing. I just want to sing so bad. So for this one, so like my, emphasized, little, my little pony. My little pony. My Little Pony. I feel like 10 of you just skipped this video. Okay, so what is, not what, and then friendship. So we have friendship, all about. What is friendship? Now, some people, you might think friend or friend is more than one syllable. Friend is all kind of one syllable, but it's a really long syllable. And we get into these areas that's a little bit, but that's all just like one sound. It's not free end. If it was free end, that's 2 syllables, but friend, it's just one. So friendship, and then the ship is much louder than the first part. And they're not equal. The ship is definitely a little bit more stressed than the friend. And then we go right here to My Little Pony. It's gonna be the exact same. My little pony. My little, you miss me so much I can tell, pony. Perfect. And then we get to friendship is magic. So just friendship is magic. Wonderful. That's great. You're through almost everything. So I know this is, a lot of you are going to get a lot of this wrong. Absolutely, you will, because we're going to take some more time to practice this as well. And this isn't that easy. For some of us, we've never listened to the way that words make sounds. So, well, I mean, sorry, you listen, but you aren't analyzing it in this way. So what I'm going to ask you to do, and this is a part of your week 4 mark, is right down here. I'm going to ask you to do, submit 1 line from SpongeBob with corrections, 1 line from My Little Pony with corrections, and 1 line from your own song with corrections. I'd like you to pick the one that maybe you, on the My Little Pony, maybe it was like this line was the one that you needed the most work on. Pick the one that you made the most errors on. I mean, I've already seen it, so it doesn't matter. But pick the one that you've made the most errors and then just correct that one line for me. So I'm not asking for lots. I'm asking for 3 lines of corrections. So submit 1 line from SpongeBob, 1 line from My Little Pony, and 1 line from your own song with corrections. And it's on the attachment on the assignment for the week 4. What am I even calling it? I don't know. I can't remember right now. I'll put it in the chat and I'll write it down right there. But just put it in there. It's an easy mark. And then I'm going to make another video, but just really quick. I'll show you what's coming up. Is your new task for week 4. And what you're actually going to do is you're going to take lines from your song and you're going to turn it into iambic pentameter, which I won't show you anymore, but it's going to be a little bit of fun. So anyway, thanks for bearing with me. And then I'm going to post 2 videos for this week. It's a lot of videos, but it's not going to be a ton of work, especially this won't take you very long. But thanks for bearing with me. Make sure to like and subscribe when you get to the end of the video. It's your contributions that keep us afloat. So thank you. Take care.